biggest takeaways from week one of the NFL season. And there's a lot to get here. My biggest miss of the weekend, I admitted it today on Brains World. You can go listen to that. I said out here publicly, I thought Pittsburgh was going to beat up San Francisco. That did not happen. It was the complete opposite. I was completely shocked. Pittsburgh was not ready to play. Didn't understand that one at all. And then the Rams, without Cooper Kupp, and everybody was telling me, and you included, Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jack Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker. They have all these weapons, and you kept saying, no, Geno Smith wasn't a flash in the pan. No, Seattle is going to be pretty good. They laid an egg. They couldn't move the ball in the second half against a Rams defense that has Aaron Donald and a bunch of kids. And the more concerning thing for me, if you're a Seattle fan, in my opinion, is this. The Rams did not have Cooper Kupp. Van Jefferson is not a number one wide receiver. Sometimes I don't even think he's a number two. Tyler Higbee is an old, starting to get slow tight end. Cam Akers is not a great running back. And they scored. And by the way, they didn't have a great offensive line either. And they scored on every single second half possession. And you have a defensive head coach in Pete Carroll. There is real concern here to me if I'm Seattle, and sometimes it's bad matchups. We know the Rams have a bad matchup, with the Niners. We know the Bengals match up terribly with the Browns. We know the Giants match up terribly with Dallas and Philly. The Rams Seattle seems to match up bad with the Rams. Maybe it's just that. But now Seattle goes to Detroit and a Lions team on a little bit of a rest, on some momentum, a very good offense. Seattle starts 0-2. They're in trouble. And same with Pittsburgh. If they got a lot of injuries and they got to go take out the Browns now, who, regardless of the rainstorm, that defense and Jim Schwartz is legit. And the Browns have momentum now going into Pittsburgh.
All right. I hear everything you're saying, and I want to start with San Francisco-Pittsburgh. As a general NFL fan, I was looking forward to that game. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a great opening week game. I even listed it last week on our show as one of the games to watch in week one. Like, it's going to be a hard-hitting, physical, defensive, low-scoring battle. I was thinking it was going to be like a 24-17 or like a 17-16 type of game. And San Francisco just said, nope, you're not allowed to have nice things. So that was really disappointing. But I'll tell you the biggest takeaway from week one for me, Green Bay. Jordan Love looked fantastic against the Bears. Granted, it's the Bears, and they've lost like 11 games in a row. They've played horribly at home, so I don't know how much stock you can really put in. But think about it. Jordan Love has had to follow both Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, both of whom delivered Lombardi trophies to Green Bay. Jordan Love was without his number one wide receiver in Christian Watson. And he went into Chicago, which I don't know if you can really call Packers-Bears a rivalry right now because the Packers have just straight dominated that rivalry. It's kind of been laughable. But
yes,
either way,
but the fans of the team hate each other, so it is a rivalry. It's the same thing with like Eagles, Giants. You can even say Browns, Bengals. Now Browns dominate Cincinnati every game, but I agree. I want to make a quick point with you on this game because I agree with everything you just said, but I want to emphasize what you said. So Jordan Love for 3 years, and I've been saying, listen. I watched Jordan Love against my alma mater, Kent State, lose in a bowl game to Dustin Crum during the COVID season. I saw Jordan Love for 2 seasons in preseason. I saw nothing. And I said in today's day and age, no matter what level you're at, high school, college, NFL, the concepts are getting more similar. The quarterback play is getting better and easier because it's turning into an offensive sport. So I thought Green Bay was, if they thought Jordan Love was ready, they would have moved off Aaron last year. So I didn't think anything of Jordan Love. And I think we kind of both thought Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Bears are going to pop. And what we saw on Sunday was this. We saw the benefits And in my opinion, and I've been on this for the last couple of years now, and I've told you this multiple times, the benefits of having an offensive minded head coach. They didn't ask Jordan Love to do much. They gave him a run game, screens, quick passes, good protection, barely got it, get the ball out, simple reads, bam, 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 and help and support the quarterback even without your number two wide receiver, sometimes number one in Christian Watson. The Bears, they have a new addition in DJ Moore. They barely threw him the football. Justin Fields now in year two of Luke Getzey's offense. Looks like he still isn't seeing the field great. Had to run around for his life. It was a lot of hero ball. And that is the difference between progressive, offensive leaning head coaches like Matt LaFleur, and in my opinion, very rigid defensive. We're going to run the ball, culture, Justin Fields, go bail us out, Bears. And it just doesn't seem like, and I'm not saying that Justin Fields is a great quarterback because I have no idea. But I'm not sure Fields had a great shot. I don't think Matt Eberflus the right coach. I don't think Getzey's the right offensive coordinator. Can we get an offensive-minded head coach, which you had, by the way, in Matt Nagy, and then you decide to let him go for some odd reason? Can we get an offensive-minded head coach that can support Justin Fields to see what this kid's got?
Yes. I'll tell you another interesting game. Carolina, Atlanta.
What a weird game. What a weird. Did you know at one point Desmond Ridder was 4 for 4 for 0 yards?
Weird.
What is Arthur Smith doing? You drafted Bijan Robinson, but they barely, yes, he got a touchdown receiving. They barely played him.
Yeah. And then think about this. The Falcons actually threw the ball to Kyle Pitts. What a concept.
I don't get it. And the score, Atlanta won that game by 2 touchdowns. They got an interception late. The score doesn't indicate that game was pretty close throughout the game. I thought Bryce Young, for the record, made some rookie mistakes, but I thought he made some plays. I think Frank Reich and them are going to be fine. I actually took away from that game going, everybody's talking about Desmond Ridder. I'm like, Atlanta looks like they have no offense. Like, yeah, their defense played great, but Ridder barely threw the ball downfield. It was a weird game plan. They used so many different backs. They didn't throw the ball to Drake London at all. I don't get it. It was strange. And now they host Green Bay in a very interesting game all of a sudden, because if Green Bay goes 2-0 on the road to start the year, I don't want to say I guarantee, but I'm telling you this. If you start the year in the NFL 2-0 on the road and you haven't had a home game, that to me is a playoff team.
I'll tell you this. I don't think either of us put the Green Bay Packers in dark horse Super Bowl contenders. But if they start the season 2-0 on the road, maybe they need to be included in that dark horse Super Bowl contender
Green Bay at 6-11 looking for a quarterback in next year's draft. I mean, I didn't think this, and all of a sudden we're like, they handed Chicago a complete ass whooping. Now you go to Atlanta, who God knows what they're going to do. Are you going to use Bijan Robinson? Are you going to use Kyle Pitts? Are you going to use Drake London? I mean, unbelievable.
I know. I'm pulling up the Packers schedule right now because I'm very interested in something.
So I know they have Detroit early in week 4, week 5. Their first home game is in week 3. I don't recall who. I think it's someone easy. The Saints, maybe? I couldn't recall.
Yes, it is the Saints. You are correct about that.
So at home, by the way, dome team, Green Bay, that's a winnable game.
Yes.
Lions at home on a Thursday night. That's iffy. Going to Vegas, that's can be. So Denver, then October's a little tough. The schedule gets Chargers. So the schedule is Kansas City. So they don't have a lot of dubs October, November. So they really need to get off to a 3-0, 3-1 start. So this really is more of a must win for Green Bay, then, in my opinion, because we know the schedule Atlanta's got outside of Jacksonville, and I think it's like Jacksonville and New Orleans. They're going to have a quarterback advantage in every game, and we don't even know who Desmond Ritter is.
Yes. I will say this. Green Bay's, I think the most important stretch of the season for Green Bay is the Chargers on November 19th. Then you have the Lions on Thanksgiving. Then you have the Chiefs on December 3rd. That 3-game stretch right there, I think, will determine the Packers' season. I really do.
They're probably going 0-3 in that stretch, if I had to guess. You were unless you get the Chargers, unless you get Brandon Staley, who once again is a defensive-minded head coach. Oh my God, how has this guy not been fired yet?
I have no idea. Let's talk. Can we please talk about this game now?
So Chargers, he gives up 200 yards to Tyreek Hill. By the way, here we go again with offensive-minded coaching. Brian Flores made Tua look like a bust, and Flores was a really good head coach. He was a good defensive head coach. Him and Tua did not get along. Tua looked like a legitimate bust. Mike McDaniel comes in, and I'm sorry, when Tua is healthy, does he not look like a top 5? Yes. Top 5 quarterback in the NFL when he is healthy. He was an MVP candidate last year when he is healthy. Miami, to me, looks like right now the clear favorite if he's healthy in that division because they have cleverness offensively and speed and a new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. Yes, they gave up 34 points, but they made 2 key blitzes, key adjustments in that game to throw off Herbert and new OC Kellen Moore and that staff. We know the Chargers offense is going to be great. Can they literally stop a pillow? I don't know if they can.
And here's the one of my biggest issues with that Dolphins-Chargers game. I think it was towards the end of the first half. The Dolphins are nowhere near field goal position. And they throw a deep pass to, I think it was Tyreek and J.C. Jackson.
And they get the PI goal, yep.
Yes. What are you doing? And that allows the Dolphins to kick the field goal. And let me think. Dolphins ended up winning by how many points? Oh, yeah, 2. That field goal, I think, made all the difference. Not to say that the other plays the Dolphins made weren't game changers or whatever, but to me, that was the turning point for the game.
And again, Brandon Staley is a defensive-minded head coach, decided to play the most man coverage out of any team in the NFL. And
why are you playing man coverage against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, basically a track team? Why? Somebody tell me.
I don't get it. And they have Tennessee this week, a weird game. Every game Tennessee plays in is weird, by the way. It's almost like New England. Every game New England plays in, there's going to be some special teams, some weird punt, some weird same thing with Tennessee.